Good day. How are you? Amazing. Hey, have you heard? I bet you didn't even know. This is season 2. We did it. And you know I mean you and me, right? Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for all the love and support pouring in through every account on social media, email, the podcast, the blog. I'm blown away. I'm really appreciating it all. And what I can do to repay you is offer you more amazing podcasts and stories and blogs to lift you up, bring you back full circle, and take you for a little spin. What do you say? Let's do it. So here we go. Let's start another Fantastic Life journey right now. We are talking about pets. It's a pet's life, right? OMG. I have been blessed with this magical, majestic kingdom in my home. By the way, I must say, I am the only woman in this house. Everybody in my house is a male. My husband's a male. My sons are males. My 2 dogs are males. My 2 turtles are males. And believe it or not, even my pet catfish, Fanny Jr., he's a male. Like, God, cut me some slack. Cut me some slack. And I have learned not to yearn for any other female presence, and I will just own this domain, right? Okay, so let me tell you. First, we're going to talk about Coco. Coco Loco Chico, my little Bichon Frise. Let me explain. He looks like a poodle that got cut off at the knees. He's like big but little. That's the best way to describe him. And for years, I didn't realize that Bichons had a specific haircut, so I would cut him poodle cut. He would get poodle feet, a poodle head, and they would look at him and say, you know, he's a Bichon. I'm like, yeah, give him this. And then I would say, give him poodle paw, give him poodle hair. I didn't know he had his own hairstyle according to his breed. Well, you could hear the Magic Kingdom today. Do you hear that in the background? I apologize. But you'll always hear that with me, because that's my true life. Right? And I always like to keep it as real as it comes. So back to Coco. Coco's funny. My husband one day was like, all right, here's this dog. We're not going to have any more kids. Here you go. And I was like, first of all, you can't bring a puppy and be like, that's sad. And the cost of this puppy, I could have bought a bag. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then lo and behold, I have another kid after this dog. But we get him. And he's adorable. He is. But I've never been like a boutique puppy mom. I've always had a shelter dog. At the end of the day, a dog is a dog and they love you unconditionally. But I've never been. I've been a foster dog mom, an adopted dog mom. Never had a boutique pup. So, I had to understand some new things, some new nuances about having these type of dogs. First of all, sometimes they have ailments. Like, Coco's feet go out. And I don't want to make Coco self-conscious, but his feet point outwards. And sometimes I'm like, straighten your feet. Like, what are you doing? Which way we going? We're going this way, that way. And the thing about Coco is he's very smart. But it's like borderline annoying because Coco will walk into the kitchen and he'll do like his little stretch. So he walks in, he stretches. And it's the cutest little thing. You fall in love. And then he walks over, but he gives you side eye. Because you can see he's walking over to where his bowl is. And then he takes his little bowl and he moves it just slightly. And you go, oh, Coco wants water. Oh, wow, he's so smart. So then you go get the water and you bring it over. Then he takes his bowl, he slams it like, hi, I already asked you for water. Don't make me say it again. And he gets a little gangster. And I'm like, I'm pouring you water right now. 1 second. So I pour his water. Then he drinks it. But then he takes a couple sips and then he's out. That's it. And so sometimes you're like, oh, well, maybe next time I won't give him so much water. So next time he'll do the same thing and you'll give him less. And then he'll look at you like, can I have more? And you're like, oh, okay. So there's really no pleasing him. And then, you know how you cook and all of a sudden all the people in your house like, oh, something smells good. Your dog's like, oh, can I have some? Here comes Coco. He definitely comes into the kitchen. He definitely looks at you. And he gives you that side look, like, you gonna give me something? I bend down. Like, you know what? I'm going to give you this little piece of bacon. I bend down and he smells it real hard. Like 2 minutes. Like you holding that bacon and like holding it like a statue. He's smelling it and he's like, nah, I ain't eating that. And you're like, wait a second. You made me stand here. You begged for it. And you don't want it? Oh, no, he don't want it. Because he don't want it. He just wants to know what it was. So now, Coco's very good. He does not pee or poop in the house. He's very sweet, very loving. But Coco thinks that he is a Rottweiler. You put him on the leash, we go for a walk. He's like, wow, wow, wow. He's going to beat up everything. Everything. A squirrel, a chipmunk, a car, a bicycle. This dog, like, literally could just pick him up. He jumps like he's going to kill or attack everything. But then you take him to the dog run, and he's everybody's friend. He's everybody's stuffed animal. All the dogs want to beat him up and hump him. And so it's like, I don't know what he thinks sometimes. Like, I look at him like, who is you? Who is you? Right? But again, he's smart. Like the other day, he had to use the bathroom, I'm walking him. We go by a tree, and I'm like, oh, that's a nice tree. Oh, you know, what's interesting about the tree is the outside, you know, has the, and then Coco cuts me off and goes, bark, bark. I'm like, yes, the outside of the tree has bark, Coco. You're so smart. And then I'm like, oh, you know, that texture is very, Coco's like, rough, rough. I'm like, yes, Coco. It is very rough. That is a rough texture. You know, sometimes he's too, you know, showy. You're just like, all right, you're smart, move on. But we decided to adopt a new puppy. At first, when we saw this new puppy, we were like, oh, he's small. That's cute. He'll be good with Coco. And he's like, you know, I don't know, red. We can call him Ginger Snap. We like this name, Ginger Snap. Let's run with it. So we end up adopting him. And they tell us he's a Vizsla. I'm like, Vizsla. I couldn't even say. I finally learned how to pronounce it correctly. Vizsla. So I'm like, oh, I have a Vizsla. Everyone's like, is that a Labrador? It's a Vizsla. It's a Vizsla. It's a Vizsla. That's what I kept saying, right? Well, when you adopt him and you go through my certain vet, they do a DNA and they can tell you specifically whatever your dog is. So I was like, this is great. We could prove that he's a Vizsla. And then he starts getting big, like just in 1 week. He goes to 26 pounds. And I'm like, wow, he's huge. Then the next week, he's 46 pounds. I'm like, when is this DNA test coming in? This is worse. Ooh, child, what is this dog? We finally get the DNA readout. Ginger Snap is 100% on his mother's side. Because it shows who his mother is, his grandmother, his grandfather, all the way back. That he is a Weinermariner. I can't even say this word correctly. Weinermariner. Worcestershire sauce. Weinermariner. So he's a Weinermariner. Oh, Lord. You know what I'm talking about. Those beautiful gray dogs, right? That they point with their nose. So that's his mother and his whole maternal side. His father is a straight American pit bull. And his father's grandfather was a boxer. Used to fight back in the war. And so he has a little snap to him. It's the funniest thing. And every single dog on his mother's side was silver gray. So he got the color from his father. This is very funny because he kind of does look like a Vizsla, but he's not at all. And so now I'm like, everything I read about Vizsla, Voivay, now I gotta look up everything about these type of dogs. So I do. So the first thing that we notice is now he's 46 pounds and he's gigantic. And they're like, oh, well, those dogs, they get to be 66 pounds. Like, well, I thought we were just getting a little one. All right, I love him anyway. And we bring him home and he loves, ready for this, to eat his poop. He eats his poop. I'm like, oh, did you just poop? Oh, I smell it, but I don't see it. And he's licking his lips. I'm like, oh, did you eat that poop? I'm so disgusted by him eating his poop. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like, that's disgusting. And then he knows when he does it, it's like a guilty obsession. It's like biting his nails. He sees me coming. I'm like, did you just poop? Did you just eat your poop? And he looks at me like, nah, it was Coco. And Coco will straight up look at him like, don't even. I don't even eat bacon. So I was like, what is going on? So we read online, put tenderizer in the food. The puppies, they eat their poop because when they're a puppy and they poop, it smells like food and they think they can eat it. Oh my God. So now he pees everywhere. But he doesn't just pee everywhere. He pees in the floor vent. My husband almost lost his mind the other day. He peed right in that floor vent. And I was like, oh my God. So what do we gotta do? We gotta walk him. Ginger has the most energy I've ever met in any animal my whole entire life, on this existence, in this earth, on the planet, in the galaxy, in the universe. I have never met a dog with more energy than this dog. From the beginning of the morning to the end of the night, he is ready to jump you down. Like, he sometimes jumps and hits me right on my back. I fall down. And the funny thing is, when Coco does it, it's adorable because he's, like a little piece of cotton. Ginger does it, and it's literally an assault. Like, the other day, I was like, I'm this close to getting a restraining order against you. So, Ginger, we walk every day. 2 miles in the morning, 2 miles in the afternoon. Like, he needs it. And sometimes, like, if it's raining or bad weather and you can't walk him, you better figure it out. Because that dog has so much energy. Matter of fact, this morning, I go to walk him. And it was such a tough walk because they're doing construction on my town street. So there's like cars out. He is and he's real friendly. He's not a bad boy. Like, he's super nice, super sweet, super loving. He's everything that you want, but he pees and poops in your house. And so we're walking, and if I was on roller skates, you would have never saw me. I flew by so fast. And the officer was like, oh, what kind of dog is that? He's gigantic. How old is he? I'm like, he is literally 8 months old. They were like, 8 months? I'm like, yes. He was like, oh, well, he needs about 4 miles a day. You need to walk that dog. And I'm looking at him like, really? I already know. What, you think I'm new to this? I had him since he was a puppy. But we really need to get it going because let me tell you, Coco, he didn't really 100% get house trained until like 2 or 3 years. But the thing is, when Coco makes a duty, it's so little and adorable. It's like, oh, can we take a picture and put it on Instagram? It's delicious. It looks like, I don't know, a Godiva chocolate. It's just so little and tiny. And then when he pees, he only pees outside and he has to like do a curtsy when he pees. Ginger, it's like, did a horse and buggy come through here? The duty is insane. And then the pee, it's like, what's spilling? Is there a pipe bust? There's so much liquid. But then he's so sweet and gentle and not like Coco. Whatever you're cooking, if it's bacon, if it's broccoli, if you're cutting a piece of carrot and it falls on the floor, Coco will look at you like you are a hot mess. Ginger comes in and he's like, oh my God, let me help you clean up this mess. Cleans it up, eats it. He'll even run around and pick up things for you. Like, did you forget your slip over here? Here's your slipper, mommy. So Ginger's heart is where it needs to be, but his bladder isn't. So these are the challenges. But let me tell you, as frustrating as that can be, you know how much love they give you for no good reason? The other day, I was kind of feeling down. Can you imagine me down? I was down. And I go downstairs, and then here comes Coco. And you hear him jingle. He has like a little jingle sound. And here comes Ginger jumping over Coco. And they came to me, and they were like, what happened, girl? Did you have your coffee yet? What happened? The love was so amazing and so unconditional. And then I was like, let me go check on my fish. Fish gave me attitude as usual. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I was like, let me look at my turtles. My turtles hid. I was like, screw you. And then I went to check on my little kids. And they were doing their homework. You know, they didn't want to, Mom, get in my room. Okay. And then my husband's at work. I was like, oh, let me just go hang out with Coco and Ginger. They have such an amazing life. Their own journey is amazing, right? Well, thank you for listening to this silly version of a journey on this Fannytastic life. You have just experienced Fannytastic Life. Thank you so much. Catch more of this journey at fannytasticlife.com. Also, find Fannytasticlife on Instagram at FHBMGC or on Facebook at Fannytasticlife. You can always feel free to send us an email at fannytasticlife@gmail.com. Thank you again. Talk to you real soon. Bye now.